Hello and welcome to Georgia Sight's online tatting classes. This is video 2 of the tat-along of the Awareness Star of Hope that Kathy Hodge designed. Now, in the last video, I told you to tat up to ring 4, complete ring 4, and then we'd pick up from there. Well, that's what I've done, and if you notice, I had a little gaposis problem here. I've got that fixed. And I've got my 4 rings, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you should have 1, 2, 3 chains of 2 double stitches separated by a picot. Okay, now here's where it comes into play. The next instruction after ring 4 says 1, 2, 3 picots separated by 2. Okay, and then do not reverse your work. Okay, so we're going to have 3 picots on this next chain. 2 of the picots are going to join. Okay, 1 is for decorative. That will be the first picot coming off on that chain that is a decorative picot. The other 2 are joining picots. So here we go. Ring 4, reverse our work, tighten up our shuttle, give us enough thread on shuttle 2, and wrap our hand for our chain. Now, here we go. The first picot on this is a decorative. So we want to tighten that up to the ring, put in our first 2 double stitches, grab our picot gauge. It's a decorative picot. We want it to match all the other picots. Put that in. After we get our first double stitch after the picot, close it up and do the second double stitch. Okay, now we're coming into the 2 joining picots on here. So we want those to be very small picots. Okay, because that's all they are, is a joining picot. That's the first one. You see, you can barely see it. Okay? There it is, right there. Now we want our second joining picot. Okay, we got the second one in. I dropped my shuttle, got hung up on that thread. Okay, now we have our chain in. We've got our 2 joining picots in here. Let me pull that out so you can see it. They're a little bigger for you to see than I would normally have. Usually you don't see my picots at all. Okay, so here you go. You've got your 2 joining picots and your decorative picot. And it says, do not reverse our work and switch shuttles for ring 5. So we drop our green shuttle, take this one off of our pinky finger, and wrap our hand for ring 5. Okay. Get the green shuttle thread out of the way, and we start ring 5, which is 2 double stitches separated by 3 picots. Now, here is ring 5, right here. It's coming right off of this chain. You see, on both sides of ring 5, you've got joining picots. Then in the center, you have a decorative picot. That's where you're going to use your picot gauge, is on the decorative picot. Okay, so let's do our first 2 double stitches. We want to snug them up as close to the chain as possible and prevent gaposis. Okay. Got 1, 2, and we're going to put our first joining picot in. There's our first one and our second double stitch. Now we want our decorative picot. Put our picot gauge in, Do our first double stitch, pull the picot gauge out, close it up. Now we're going to put in our second double stitch, and we're going to do our second joining picot. Okay, close it up, finish it up with the last double stitch, and again drop that shuttle, let the twist out. Okay, then close that ring, pull it, pull it, pull it, and when you get it almost closed, you can feel it in your thumb and your finger. Start pulling it that way to close that ring up tight. Okay, and there is the ring, the end of the chain. Now, it says to reverse our work. So we're going to reverse our work, okay, and we're going into chain E, which is this chain right here. Okay, and as you can see, we've got 3 picots separated by 2. The middle one is a joining picot, and it's going to join to the previous work over here. Okay, so let's get that done. Get my shuttle straightened out here. So wrap our hand to make a chain, tighten up our shuttle because we just made a ring, remember? Okay, now we're going to make our first chain here on this big round ring of rings and chains. And we've got 1 decorative, 1 very small picot, and 1 decorative separated by 2 double stitches. So we tighten it up to the edge of that chain. I realize I got some gaposis there. No comments. Please, no comments on the gaposis. Then we're going to put our first decorative picot in. 2 double stitches. And here's where we're going to join. Now, what we're joining to, pull some more thread off of that. What we're going to join to, alright, is this right here. This ring here, that little joining picot, that's where we're going to join. And it can get a bit fidgety. That's okay. We will defeat it. Alright, and it's just a regular up join. But as I say, it can get a tad bit fidgety with it. Alright, once you get it up, run your shuttle through, tighten that join up. Okay, and we have our second picot in. Now we do 2 more double stitches. Okay, and our second decorative picot. Okay, pull our picot gauge out, tighten our chain up, and as you can see, it's joined. Alright, now it says after that chain, okay, right here's where we're at, chain E, 2 picot 2, join to last picot, ring 4, 2 picot 2, reverse our work. Okay, now we're going to begin the inner ring sequence. That's these rings right here. Okay, and the first ring, which is ring 6, is 2 join to ring 5, 1 picot 1 picot 2. So let's do that. And we're going to join right here, that first picot. Okay, grab our thread, pull it up. Now if your shuttles didn't have little hooks on them like the Moonlit, that's where you would use this, your little tatting pin, crochet hook, whatever. Alright, now we're going to put 1 double stitch in, and we're going to put in a decorative picot. 1 double stitch after the decorative picot. Fingers are not working right now. Okay, open up that ring, get some more thread, and the next picot comes in, and it's a joining picot. So you want to make it small. Okay, if you get it too small, you can always open it up and then put in the second half along with another double stitch. Again, drop our shuttle, take the twist out before we close the ring. That keeps it from bunching up back here. Okay, so let's close that ring. And there we go. Now the next chain comes in, because after we do ring 6, we reverse our work and we do our next chain, which is 3 decorative picots with 2 double stitches in between. Let me get this up here so you can see where we're at. We're right here. Chain F. 3 decorative picots with 2 double stitches in between. Alright? So, tighten up our shuttle. Get our hand set up for our picots on our chain. Alright, here we go. And again, this is traditional tatting, so you don't have to remember which is the front, which is the back. Okay. 1, 2 double stitches. Put our picot gauge in. 2 double stitches. This is where I just keep the picot gauge in my hand and I move on because I've got another decorative picot. Put in 2 double stitches. Close it up. Put in our last decorative picot. Okay. Pull that out, tighten that chain up, and then reverse our work. Okay? Excuse me. Now, the next ring that is in the sequence is a repeat of ring 6, and you're going to do that an additional 4 times. Okay? And on ring 7, the 7th ring in this series, if you count them off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ring 7 is going to join to both sides. So in the next video, that's where we're going to come pick up. Alright? So work it up to ring 7. Alright? When you get chain, this last chain right here, chain J, stop. Don't go any further. Do not do ring 7 yet. You're working from ring 1 through 6. Alright? So in the next video, we'll pick up right here. Until then, happy tatting.